Here are 5 shows that just lost the plot, man. Shows that started off with so much promise and just turned into complete dookie. Season 1 of Prison Break is one of the most finely constructed seasons of television of all time. Perfectly paced, perfectly plotted, and there's no wasted time. And even Season 2, while not as good as Season 1, is pretty damn good. And it's a logical choice to the story of what happens next. But after Season 2, man, it devolves from a brother trying to save his brother into government conspiracies, and we get so deep into this, and it's so convoluted and ridiculous. By Season 4, the show's unrecognizable, and you're just like, what the fuck, man? This show fell off so hard. Another famous one's gonna be Dexter. This show started off so good. Season 1's one of the best Season 1s of all time. And, a lot of people talk about how great the first 4 seasons are. I think there's a bit of, quality issues here and there, but overall they're solid. But once we get past Season 4, man, the show just repeats itself over and over, and Dexter just becomes boring as a character. And the writers would always find a way to get Dexter out of making a moral decision. Something that would question his moral code. Something or someone always came up to get him out of that situation. And as a fan of writing, that's just lazy writing. That's cheap writing because you don't want to make your serial killer basically the villain of the show by breaking his moral code. But yeah, this show fell off hard, man. My Name is Earl started off so strong, man. It's almost like Ted Lasso before Ted Lasso, where every episode just left you with this really heartwarming feeling. A lot of episodes brought you to tears. It can be truly a very funny, charming, and heartwarming show. And we go away from this formula to put Earl in prison and do all these weird subplots of him being it ruined the show. It's like, what the fuck are we doing here? It fell off, man. Do I even need to say anything? Let's move on. What started off as one of the funniest, most lighthearted comedies out there has devolved into fucking torture porn for Squidward. This show really just fell off a cliff quality-wise after the original SpongeBob movie, which should have been the logical ending to this story. But this show's a cash cow. They kept it going and going, and it's still going. And from what I hear, it's a shadow of its former self, man. It's sad to watch. But we started diving into these weird stories, man. And like I said, SpongeBob went from naive to fucking annoying to torturing Squidward all the damn time. To the point it's not even funny anymore. They just turned Patrick into an idiot, a straight up idiot, a dumbass. Before he was he was a dummy. He wasn't the smartest guy, but he was sweet. Now he's just a bully and just a fucking moron. But this show fell off hard. So let me know what you guys would consider some shows that fell off hard. All right, here are 5 more shows that lost the plot. Shows that just completely fell off, man, after such a great start. Let's go. Death Note is one of the most engaging shows you will ever watch, with one of the best cat and mouse storylines I have ever seen, and it is so compelling and so intense, so fun, until L dies. And once L dies, the show takes a massive dip in quality. Nothing against Nier, but he was just Nier, right? He was nothing compared to L, man, and the show really just fell off after L, and they could never recover from it. It was still solid, but man, it could not reach the highs that it had been hitting. First couple seasons of this show, House of Cards, are fantastic. Ooh, Kevin Spacey. But obviously, with Kevin Spacey's personal drama and all the shit that was going on with him, they kicked him off the show, and they had to rewrite it, and it was awful. One of the worst endings of all time, and nobody ever talks about it. But for the first couple seasons, this show was compelling, man. 2 animes? What? Sword Art Online. The first half of season 1 had me so hooked, bro. It was emotional. It was so much fun. It was creative. That ending where they both dissipate into nothing was absolutely beautiful. It brought tears to my eyes. And then they just repeated the plot all over again. And then the following season, they did it again, but with a different skin on it. And I hear it's still doing the same thing. I don't know, but this show fell off hard, man. That first half of season 1 was magical, bro. Man, when you go back and watch those older seasons of Family Guy, there was a lot of well thought out and smart comedy. You could tell that Seth MacFarlane and the writers actually gave a shit. Peter was a bit slow, but he really meant to do the best he could. Lois was a bit of a nag, but her heart was in the right place. Meg was a confused, lost young girl, a teenager. Same with Chris. Brian was a voice of reason, and Stewie was Stewie. But now they've devolved all these characters into Peter's an idiot, Lois is a whore who cheats nonstop, Chris just masturbates endlessly, Meg is Meg, and Stewie's actually the only character who's gotten better over time. Everybody else has devolved. This show kind of sucks now. Even though I still enjoy watching it, I can recognize that it's bad. It's bad. No surprise here. The first season's one of the greatest pieces of television ever created. Season 2, it's not fair to call them seasons, right? But still, season 2 just fucking sucks. Season 3, it was okay, just a bit underwhelming, but the newest season, Night Country, was just god awful. This show has not been able to recapture the magic of the first season, and to be fair, they never will. And it's not fair to expect that because that is a one of one. Stuff like that only comes around once every 10 years, so it's okay, but to just be competent, it seems like they can't even do that. So these are 5 shows. Let me know if you want me to do another 5. Yeah.